Hey guys, thank you so much for checking out my YouTube page. I truly appreciate all of y'all's support over the years. But it's time to switch things up a little bit. It's been a fun place for you to check out my stand-up clips and to hear me and some crazy people talk about fast food like it's gourmet. But I want to bring in another part of my life that I truly love, and we're missing it right now, and I'm surely missing it. So I wanted to bring a show that brings that back a little bit, gets me in the mindset. I'm a huge football fan, have been for years. Love watching the game, love everything about it. So I've partnered up with one of my childhood friends, and when I tell you this guy knows his football, this guy knows his football. He's talked about people in draft classes I've never even heard of the school they go to. So he's on point with this. So everyone, please let me introduce you to my good friend. We've known each other for 20 plus years, Mr. Shawn Sudler, everybody.
What is up, my man? I appreciate those calm words. Now the folks are going to think I'm a lot better than I actually am, but we're going to make it work, though, man. We're going to make it work.
I had to set the bar high, so you had something to work back from.
I'm also short, so we'll like I said, we'll figure it out, man. So what's
Good, man.
I appreciate you having me on, man. It's a pretty big deal. It's a pretty big deal, man.
Yeah, dude. So yeah, this is the Nickel and Dime football show. We're going to be bringing to you every week. We're going to do our best to do that and give you insight on the football season. And once the season starts, we got some fun segments planned for you.
Yeah, and hopefully, these guys can hang out with us. Just real quick, Drew, why don't you go ahead and tell the people where you can find your stuff? Because I want to get the content to the people. So let's do that like this,
Yeah. Check me out on Instagram at Laugh with Harrison, all one word. Check out DrewHarrisonComedy.com. It's really got everything I do on there. It's got every episode of Drive-Thru Reviews. Check out our YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/DAHarrison15. Got some good content on there for you. Got some old sketches I've done. I saw some old sketches. I got Babyface Drew. It's crazy.
Yeah. He was like a whole different Drew. He was so nice, and now you're just jaded and old.
Yeah, dude. The comedy industry has jaded me over the years. I've definitely.
I can understand.
I feel like I've aged 50 years during this quarantine. Well, what about you, man? Where can they find you?
Real simple, man. I'm old and crotchety and all that stuff. So just find me on Twitter at the Kid Suds. That's just at the kid and an underscore between suds, man. I had to throw the underscore in there to keep the weirdos off.
You're right. Can't just keep doing it. Well, cool, man. Yeah, thank you for jumping on this wild ride with me, man. We're gonna have fun,
dude.
If anything, we'll just be talking about football with each other.
It's
a win-win.
It's what we do anyway, so we figured why not bring it to the masses and see if we can get this little thing going here.
Sounds good, man.
So what do we got? I'm thinking AFC West today. What do you think? Start with the Super Bowl champs.
So I was thinking we got a couple weeks. We got 2 months till the season.
Right.
Might as well. Let's break down each team, and we'll do it division by division.
Okay.
So you're spot on. We'll start off with the champs.
Yeah. I mean,
especially today we're filming. They got big news coming out of them. So
huge news, which we don't want to give the nugget away. But I mean, if you don't know by now, then apparently you're missing out, man. So big news. Of course, we will start with them. In case nobody else has figured it out yet, Patty Mahomes getting those dollars, man.
Getting paid.
Well, and the crazy thing about it is you knew that they were going to want to re-sign him, right? He's basically outplayed his rookie contract. He had 2 years left on his deal, and I think the conventional wisdom was they did want to get it done, but I don't think anybody had any idea it would be for that long, for that much. Yeah.
I mean, but I was thinking about it this way: is just about every 2-3 years, some teams every year, you got to answer questions about that QB spot,
right,
in your offseason.
Yeah,
this is taking that out of their hands. They don't have to worry about that.
No, they don't.
I mean, in 5-6 years when he's angry and wants a little bit more money, then so be it. But for the foreseeable future, KC gets to worry about other things.
Yeah,
as opposed to their quarterback,
and really keeping that team together, because I feel like this. I honestly feel like it's a really good deal for the Chiefs because they basically lock him up while he's young. they're basically paying him for his future potential, which is still there since he is so young, already has a Super Bowl, already has an MVP under his belt. But if the salary cap keeps going up, in a couple of years, man, like maybe year 4, year 5, that deal is going to be market average, if not like maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less, if they keep paying quarterbacks at the rate that they're paying them. So I think it's good for all intents and purposes. And of course, like if in the rare case that he does not play up to his potential in year 5 through year 7, maybe they can get out of that deal or get somebody else to take that deal at a cheaper rate. So I think it
which
both sides
truly probably isn't going to happen. Like this dude's going to be a stud for a while.
Which I mean that's why they're paying him this exactly.
Exactly.
But,
he's definitely earned this contract for sure.
Exactly.
It's still like you knew it was coming, but it's still once you see it on paper, you're like, whew.
It's a large number. Like I mean, like for that kind of money, like they say that he sounds like Kermit the Frog, and like for that kind of money, I would be his Miss Piggy, bro. Like I would cuddle up right next to that man. Like
know his fiance is out shopping as we speak.
Yeah, hopefully she does not get Russell Wilson fiancé'd.
Yeah,
I mean I think everybody remembers that draft picture. I mean he clearly upgraded, so like kudos.
Yeah, right. When Sierra comes calling, you don't say no.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
Well, Patty Mahomes also got him a new toy in the draft, CEH, out of LSU, that running back, man. That's going to be, wow. Like Damian Williams coming into his own and adding that. That's going to be
they had a good running back class, already on the team with the wide receivers. And then everybody thought that, Edwards-Helaire was going to go in the second round, early second round. Of course, this is really close to home, but I figured Tampa was in the market for a running back, and he would have been
I do remember you talking about wanting him.
Yeah, he definitely would have been that guy. So, Andy Reid jumps everybody ahead of the game, of course.
Oh, of course.
Comes back in.
Well, that's what a lot of people thought he did when he got Mahomes. People are like, "Oh, he reached here." Yeah, joke's on you.
Well, exactly. I mean, you see what he's doing now, but Edwards-Helaire is a do-it-all back. I mean, toward the really throughout the year, the last half of the year, he was the go-to guy on that LSU team. I know a lot of people, Joe Burrow did do the thing, but Edwards-Helaire was probably the number 2 guy on that team. And then you have to look at the defense. So a do-it-all back, can pass, can run, and is a good blocker to be like a smaller, stouter guy as well.
Yeah, and I mean, that collective speed on that team is ridiculous.
Yeah, it really was. And what I really like is they came right back around. They got Willie Gay Jr., a underrated linebacker in the second round. Clearly, he's not that underrated because he did go in the second round. And then they cap it off in the third round with Lucas Niang out of TCU. Like, this guy, this past draft was really deep as far as offensive tackle talent, and they got what a lot of people think is a second round guy, if not, pretty much conventional, second round guy in the third round. Yeah, that just kind of tells you the depth of the draft and how special this class could be.
Yeah, and I mean, you definitely got to protect that investment now. So that was smart on their part,
Exactly.
But I do love that they spent a good part of the draft beefing up that defense. That was they got Snead in the 4th round, a safety out of Louisiana Tech.
Yep.
They got a defensive end out of Central Michigan in the 5th, and then the 7th they got another cornerback from Tulane, Keys.
Well, and
so they definitely needed to do that, and I'm glad they did.
Yeah, because, I mean, as you know, they are the Super Bowl champs, so you're basically just padding the roster, and I think they did that with pretty good talent and really utilized the draft to complement and put themselves, again, in position to kind of succeed later on in the year. So, I mean, Drew, what you as far as getting, kind of moving along as far as the draft is concerned, what do you think about their offense and what they may do? I mean, you saw it firsthand. You have sort of a personal interest in this team. So
yeah, my wife is a huge Chiefs fan. So I got to hop on the bandwagon per se this past year. So I did enjoy it. But like I said, man, just so much speed.
Yeah,
they got Hill, Watkins, Robinson, Hardman. Kelsey's no slouch when it comes to tight end speed. This is just, we are going to run you out of the building
Yeah,
with this offense.
and they really didn't, like I said, they really didn't lose anything. They have a lot of returning starters. You have they actually have a real doctor on their team. Their right guard is like an actual medical doctor, which is even more impressive.
Really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, like he went to school at this like really sort of prestigious school in Canada. So like he did this during the off season, like a couple years. You know, obviously he had to go for a long time. He's a doctor, but yeah, as well as he will bludgeon you and then fix you right up. So
Right. And a little dark horse wild card. They also got Jordan Teamu from the XFL.
did they?
The backup quarterback.
Yeah.
He did really good things in the XFL. He's from Ole Miss. You know, he's played the SEC football. I'm excited. Like, not that any quarterback other than Mahomes is going to see the field anytime soon.
But it's good to know.
That's, when Chad Henney's your backup.
Yeah,
it's nice to have
with
options.
some talent, man. But no, I really like the offense. I mean, you get, like I said, a lot of the returning starters. They complement. You have the running back. Obviously, that offense was able to win the Super Bowl last year. And now you really just kind of have to move on, because I feel like the offense is going to be fine, but the defense, honestly, they played lights out at the end of last year. But you have to wonder what they're going to do with Chris Jones and that deal.
I mean, are you mad? Are you mad if you're him, seeing Mahomes get paid?
I mean, yeah, because like he's clearly outplayed his deal, and really is I mean, if he's looking for a new deal, I think they should give him one. He is kind of the anchor on that team now. They have a lot of talent there too. You lose Kendall Fuller, good corner, but you get Rashard Breeland. The back half of the defense,
right.
I'm not worried about. But like, if you can't get that pressure right up the gut, like they were able to do on a consistent basis, I don't think you can replace that. So like, honestly, I would pay the man. You know what I mean? Like I would pay
right.
the man.
I mean, they did get Taco. They got
a Taco.
They got Taco from the underachieving pass rusher from Dallas. They did sign him in free agency.
We'll see how that works out, man. I
mean, if anybody can get something out of him, it's Andy Reid. So I think that's a good pickup for him.
And that's a good point, Drew, man, because like this whole time we really hadn't really mentioned Andy Reid, and that's the guy who is making it all go. You know what I mean? Like, he's really making it all go. And then, like, how happy were you for him, like, for getting that actual title and like getting over that hump?
Dude, he made it so enjoyable. You know, like watching him win. Like he was so happy.
Yeah.
Like, I thoroughly enjoyed that. You know, like, I hadn't been that happy for someone since Ovechkin went on his Stanley Cup run, where he was like swimming in fountains in DC and drinking out of the Stanley Cup all the time.
That's the best part about sports, man. But I just don't know, man. Like this defense, they were lights out. I want to see them continue that continuity. You know, like I said, you lose Kendall Fuller, but what are they going to do with Chris Jones? And he is a guy who has said that he will sit out the year. I mean, maybe take that Le'Veon Bell route, and he kind of has that guy in his corner.
I think if they want to repeat, he's got to be on the field.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really think you can put it any better than that, man. Like,
I think they have a great season without him. I don't think they win back-to-back Super Bowls without him.
Because it just gets hard at that point in the year to not have everybody like playing consistently. So like, he was a guy who did that, a young guy too. Like, it wasn't like he's like a wily old vet either. So like, he's a guy that wants his money, and you know, I'm for the players, bro. So like, give that man his due,
right?
And, like, let him ride it out.
Right. That's the thing, is if Mahomes plays this whole contract out, he's gonna walk at 36. He'll have $500 million.
I mean, what else can you ask for, man? Like, you know,
it's not counting what endorsements he's gonna get over the years.
Exactly.
You know?
So, you know, that's a guy that you want, and he's earned it, man. He's played. I mean, Super Bowl champ, Super Bowl MVP. He's a young guy, so like he's the prototype now. Like, he is what you want your quarterback to be, and well deserved. So
yeah.
Well,
they were 12-4 last year. Do you think they improve on that, or if they take a couple more losses?
I mean,
that was without Mahomes for a few games too, though.
Okay, well, like I'm looking at their schedule right now, and I mean, they start off. They don't have any slouches. Okay, so they come out the gate. They have Texans at Chargers, at Ravens, Patriots at home. Like, those aren't slouches. I don't know what you get.
That's tough.
Yeah, I think if you definitely want to catch the Charger teams before they get in their groove, whatever that groove is going to be with
Yeah,
Tyrod
right.
Taylor. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
like you get them early, but I mean playoff team in Texans, Ravens and Patriots. Like that's three playoff teams right there. So
Yeah. I'm pumped about November 29th. Mahomes versus Brady, just in a different jersey.
you
this
had
go
to
around.
do it, sir. You had to.
I had
do
to.
it.
You know, I got to poke the bear every now and then.
Hey, like I'm really excited because like any other year, like you would definitely pencil in the Chiefs, especially coming off a Super Bowl, to go ahead and get that dub, even on the road, because the Bucks always lose at home. But like this year, it feels a little bit different.
We're not
I'm
jaded
excited
fans at
too,
all.
and I'm actually glad that the Bucks have them at home because if you had to go to Arrowhead. You know personally that is a stadium that you do not want to go to, at any time of the year because it's loud as hell. So,
Especially in November. It's going to be cold.
Yeah, November
so
29th.
cold.
That's like that's right around Thanksgiving. So it's gonna be the game of the week. I'm surprised they hadn't flexed it to like a more of a primetime game, but
they'll
whatever.
flex it once those teams take off. They'll flex it.
Yeah, you're right. But overall, man, no, I don't think that anybody knocks them off their perch. At all. So I think they'll definitely repeat with the AFC West. What about you? What you got?
Yeah, I think they'll stick around that 13-3, 12-4 mark. I think.
Okay.
I think with that defense, there might be a game or two they get outscored. I definitely want to see the Rams games and the Saints games where it was 40-something to 40-something. I'm good with that. But yeah, I think they'll still be around that mark. Still vying for that number 1 overall seed in the AFC.
I got you. So, which team you want to start with next, bro?
All right, we got so much hype about this team. It's a new stadium. I'm kind of excited because the Golden Knights got me pumped about pro teams in LA and Vegas. So we got the Vegas Raiders up next. That's just going to take me a little bit to get used to the Vegas Raiders.
Yeah, they definitely are like I don't know, man. They just scream Oakland, right? Like they just
right. That's all we've known. Like I know they've been to other places, but as far as our lifetime goes, they've been to Oakland Raiders.
They were mostly in Oakland, and like they are just a team that embodies like that black hole mentality. And I don't know what Vegas brings them right now. I mean, we have yet to see it, so like I'm very curious.
Yeah, and I mean, starting off with that draft, they went for the banger right away. Number 12 spot, they got any wide receiver for the taking. They go with speed.
Yeah.
What do you think about that first pick?
Bro, like, I mean, we talked about this before, but like that first pick with Henry Ruggs is just the epitome of John Gruden, man. Like, I mean, you knew, or if you know his history, like you knew he was gonna do that. Like you knew he was gonna do it, and like you had
Jerry Jeudy for the picking.
Yes, you have him sitting right there on the board, and like you've been trying to replace Amari Cooper since Amari Cooper left, and you have an Amari Cooper type, might be whatever, but that type of receiver sitting there on the board, and you go with the shiny Ferrari that I don't know, but hopefully it works out.
He had to do it,
and they did get a good receiver, but like I think in my opinion, Judy's the better receiver. He does more things for you, but Henry Ruggs definitely a explosive Deshaun Jackson-esque type of guy.
We just got to see if it translates to the NFL. Everyone's fast in the NFL. Can you do the other things?
Yeah.
Can he learn the playbook? Can he run the routes? Does he have the chemistry with Carr?
Yep.
Now, what do you think about their other first-round pick? They went and got Arnett, the cornerback out of Ohio State.
That's okay. So that's a guy who comes from an elite program, right? Like program ready.
Right.
Ohio State.
Yeah, because everyone talked about his counterpart all year. He didn't get a lot of publicity.
Exactly. But I don't think he still went in the first round, so the pedigree is there. He has some translatable skills, and he believes that he's a guy who like should have been there. So like there is that. And then like they don't have another pick in the second round, and then they come back and get Lynn Bowden Jr., who was like kind of an underrated receiver, but he was on a lot of people's radar. So
I'm excited about that pick, man. I think he could surprise a lot of people. I think him and Brian Edwards out of South Carolina they went back to back. Like that's underrated. that boosts the wide receiving core for sure.
Yeah, and they did. So they go wide receiver heavy in their draft. What do you think, like, with adding all of that, how do you think that translates for their offense for this coming year?
Well, I think Marcus Mariota is going to have a lot of targets to throw to. Like, just, you're talking about Gruden being Gruden, man. He could pull the trigger at any moment.
Dude, I don't, like, they had that whole thing last year with him and with Gruden and Carr. Like, what? So, I mean, is he your quarterback or isn't he your quarterback? You know what I mean? Like,
right.
What are you really doing? And they still went 7-9 last year, right? Like, they still won some games and were able to sustain. Especially
with very
with
limited weapons.
The tight end, you know what I'm saying, Waller or whatnot. So, like, he blasted out of nowhere. Josh Jacobs, the running back, you know, really, really good guy. Like, not only a good guy, but a good player. He is a guy who kind of really started that offense when Derek Carr maybe wasn't so good. He was the consistent person. So, those guys are back. I wonder how quick the receivers get up to speed, and then, you know.
That's the thing, is you can tell they definitely were not happy with any of their wide receivers last year. So they're like, let's go ahead and just get every wide receiver we can get our hands on. You know what I mean? Because because their tight end led them in receiving by a long shot. You know, like.
Yeah. And he
had
that guy,
he had 1,100 yards, and next up was Williams with 650.
Really?
Yeah, you cannot have your main wide receiver with 651 as their yard.
I knew there was a discrepancy, but I did not know the discrepancy was that wide. So
like if they didn't throw it to Waller, he had 117 targets as opposed to Williams' 64.
That's not even close, man. That's not even close. You know, now they are getting some people back, like you know, on their defense, I guess. They got Prince Amukamara, who's like, he's been around the league, but like they have him.
I think he's always been a solid player,
right? Which is why he's still in the league. I mean, he's a vet guy. He is a vet guy.
But I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, you know a lot more names than I do. Mm-hmm. I don't recognize anybody else in their secondary.
So, I mean, I'm looking at it with you, man. And besides, so we got Amukamara, Randall, you know, Demarius Randall is a guy. And then they're getting back John Abram, who was like a stud. He was a stud safety. I don't know if anybody watched him on, you know, Hard Knocks when they were on it. He was a guy who talked a lot, and he backed it up. Now, their first round pick from
I vaguely remember him now.
Yeah. Their first round pick from a year ago, Farrell, he needs to step up. Like, he's got to step up. But that's talking about another Bucks connection. They got Carl Nassib from us. Like, we couldn't pay him. You know what I'm saying? The Bucks couldn't pay that guy. He was consistent, man. He's a consistent guy, and you won't get a harder worker than him. And
does he come in and push Farrell, or is he just like a nice piece, rotation-wise?
And that's another thing about Gruden, man, is he will play the guy who will step it up, and he loves veteran players. Like, he doesn't care. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he don't care. So, Carl Nassib, Maurice Hurst out of Michigan. And then they also have Arden Key, which was a guy from LSU a couple years ago who is kind of, we were just talking about getting a taco. He is a guy of that mold. Like, he kind of didn't, you know, what has he been doing? So, I just don't know if they can be consistent, man. What do you think?
That's the thing, is that's always been the Raiders' problem for the last few years. You know, like, even the year that they surprised everyone and made it to the playoffs, Carr got hurt. You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like anytime the Raiders get any kind of momentum going, it falls apart.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they went 7-9 last year?
Yeah, so they went 7-9.
I don't really see them improving on that. You know?
To be honest, man, like, all right. So
if they go 8-8, I feel like it's a victory for them for some reason.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like they'll be more the same. Like, they'll be mediocre. Like, they'll be mediocre.
Yeah.
And, like, I really hope that if they can be that, I think it'll be justified, especially moving to a new city. And, like, I don't know if you looked at their ticket prices, bro, but, like, the nosebleeds
they got to pay for that stadium, man.
Yeah, even the nosebleeds.
They got to pay for it.
Yeah, so
it does look like the Death Star, so I do appreciate that.
Right, yeah. It also, like, so it looks like the Death Star. It also looks like a Roomba. Like, you know what I'm saying? So,
Gotta hope that
I
that
mean,
nickname catches on. Like,
yeah,
please let it be called the
Roomba.
Oh, can you imagine if Roomba bought the naming rights at some
I
point?
mean, that story writes itself, my guy. Like,
Yeah,
sign me up for
I
that.
love it, man.
But no, I think
So, what,
they'll
you
be
think they go
mediocre
about the
again.
same?
Yeah, I think they'll be mediocre again. Now, what I don't know, and like we'll probably figure this out as the show goes along, but like where they won't be one, but like will they be 2, 3, or 4? I don't know between the rest of these teams, kind of
Yeah.
kind of moving along. If you want to get into the like, let's get into the Broncos. Let's get into the Broncos.
Yeah, that's another team that I feel like is kind of along the plane
Right.
of the Raiders. They've had. I mean, obviously, I'm a scoring fan. They beat us in Super Bowl 50.
Yeah.
Beat the pure crap out of Cam Newton
Yeah,
that game.
yeah, that was
So I hate them with all of my heart, but they do have some very, very interesting pieces this year.
yeah, they really do, and I think like for them, it really just depends on what the quarterback's gonna do, man. Like, I mean, they added some pieces. They have Melvin Gordon now, who, I mean,
That two-headed monster at running back is going to be very interesting.
yeah, like he was the guy. I wish he didn't sit out, but like I've liked him as a running back. Him and Philip Lindsay,
Yeah.
that guy was a steal. And
then we talked about it. The Raiders passed on him. They didn't. They got Jerry
Jeudy. Yeah, they get like Drew. How do you let the dude go in the division?
Your
like,
division.
How do you let him go there?
Like, I understand being like, that's not our guy.
Right.
But knowing the Broncos are right there.
And you knew that they were looking for a receiver too, right? Like,
Yep.
I don't know, man.
Because if Drew Lock shows any kind of promise this year, this team can surprise everyone and go like 10-6, 11-5.
And this is and honestly, it is a three-headed monster, because if you look at their depth chart, Cortland Sutton out of SMU, this dude
showed great flashes last year.
And like, I say that because like, that's so much so that I didn't pick him on my own fantasy team, but I picked him for my girlfriend's fantasy team, and her team sucked. But he did work. Like, he was like as consistent as they come. Not only that, but you get Jerry Jeudy in the first round. Now, the caveat here is they also get KJ Hamler out of Penn State. Now, I don't know if you've been looking at Penn State receivers. I'm not talking about you, Chris Godwin, the Saint from Penn State, but they breed some good players, man. Penn State breeds good players, and he's another one of them.
They put out ridiculous players the last few years.
Yeah, they do, and your boys got one, Gross Matos out of Penn State. So like,
I am super excited about that pickup.
Yeah, they just put out good players, man. So getting back to it, it's a three-headed monster if you really look at it, and they got the young tight end, Noah Fant.
They also got Jake Butt too coming back from injury, so that could be a potential two-headed monster at tight end.
Look at me, man. I'm kind of
they could run some 2 tight end sets.
I'm kind of salivating over their roster a little bit. I need to calm
right,
down.
They've got some pieces,
and then now, I mean, and then so we were talking about this before, but you come back in the draft and you get Cushenberry from another pedigree program at the center. The quarterback center exchange may take some time, right? But
if it hits, that's locked down for years.
Right, exactly. So that's good. So like we were saying earlier, getting back to it, I don't know what Drew Lock is going to do. I think he goes as far as his team takes him.
Well, I mean, you got to worry about the sophomore slump because now people have tape on him. They can break down his footwork, his mannerism. But I mean, talking about how loaded the offense is, you scroll down to the defense. You see some big names there, too.
Yeah, you do. And, I mean, you got the mainstay, Von Miller, young, dynamic edge rusher, and Bradley Chubb out of, homegrown NC State.
He came to play last year.
Yeah. I mean, but they knew that what they were getting with him. I mean, like, you take a guy that top of the draft with that kind of tape, that's what you're going to get. Justin Simmons.
You got Alexander Johnson on the linebacker core. You got Justin Simmons in the safety slot.
He's a good guy.
I think he's going to make the Pro Bowl this year.
Okay, I can see it.
That's my bold pick for the Pro Bowl.
I can see it if he especially if the whole defense steps up, and Vic Fangio is going to put him in position to do well. So I really like the back end for this team is where like I really like it. So Justin Simmons, a young star, AJ Bouye, who
I'm a big AJ fan. I think he's had a great career.
I think he, his best years might not necessarily be behind him, but he balled out in Jacksonville, and then
Yeah.
went, kind of stayed there and kind of, went a couple of places, but now he's here
Yeah.
in this defense.
Yep.
I think Vic Fangio put him in position as well. So I kind of like what this team's doing, but I don't know about the quarterback, man. Again, I don't know.
I mean, you live and die by your quarterback, right?
For sure.
I just I don't know.
Yeah.
I think he could be that piece that they're looking for. I think he definitely is. They're going to be their quarterback
Right.
of the future. I just think he's going to hit some growing pains this year. I think there's going to be some frustration on his part. I think he takes a step back. I think this team takes a step
Okay.
along the same plane with him.
Right.
So I think they're going to go like 6-10, maybe 7-9.
6-10, 7-9. Okay.
Yeah, they went 7-9 last year. I think they
Right.
stay about status quo.
So I'm looking at their schedule now, man. Like they start out with some rough teams. Like their first three is Tennessee, at Pittsburgh, and then at versus Tampa Bay, and then they get the Jets. So like I think if they come out the gate and they stumble, it could start to spiral on them. And then who knows how they recover after that. The middle part of their schedule looks doable though. Like after their bye week,
Yeah.
it looks doable. So we'll kind of see what happens there. But I'm with you. I don't know. I think now that we were talking about the roster, I think they won't be fourth, but they may be they come in second or third depending on how them and the Raiders do. So they're somewhere.
I think a lot of teams in this division, minus the Chiefs, are a year or two away.
Yeah. If they keep adding on talent like they're doing, I think they'll
Right.
be fine. Yeah. I think they'll be fine.
Yeah.
So,
Well, speaking of teams adding talent, last but not least, we got the LA Chargers.
the LA didn't get Cam Newtons. Those guys.
What are they thinking?
Bruh,
I mean, don't get me wrong. Tyrod Taylor's a great quarterback.
he is.
You know,
He's
I
a
think
good quarterback. He's solid, but like if you have a healthy Cam, I mean, I could let you speak on that topic forever. You know what I'm saying?
This team would crush it with Allen and Williams.
Yeah.
Oh man, and then that Austin Eckler, that dynamic back, and then
Yeah,
here's a fun stat I recovered. Justin Jackson, he had some injuries last year, but through the first 3 weeks of last year, he had 142 yards on 18 carries, as the second option behind Eckler.
That's production. I mean, I don't really have anything to speak
I mean,
to that.
as your number two,
That's your
I'll
number
take that
two guy.
all day.
That's what you want. That's what you want when you get a guy to come in and spell you.
Yeah.
And I understand why they didn't take Eckler off the field. I mean, he is a guy who he deserves the rock, man. Like so.
Oh, he's carried my fantasy team the last few years.
Oh, you had him. You were lucky enough.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
He was.
And then they went and got
radar
Josh
when he was
Kelly.
You said
They
what?
went and got Josh Kelly in the fourth round, the running back out of UCLA. So just
another
pile
good,
them on.
Yeah, a good. I mean, I guess when you have that kind of running back stable, I guess that is what you want your kind of where you want to lead your offense. They have some dynamic receivers, especially Mike Williams, but their biggest problem is that they just need to stay healthy. Like they have to stay healthy.
Right.
If they can do that, then I think they may steal one or two more wins. But prove it to me. You know what I mean?
Right. Healthy, of course, is like Hunter Henry's missed significant time.
Right.
Keenan Allen's missed significant time.
Yeah.
Mike Williams has missed significant time. These guys cannot stay on the field together and expect to win in this division.
No, I mean they really can't. And backtracking a little bit. I mean, clearly, they do have Tyrod Taylor, but the big question surrounding them is when are they at what point do you get Herbert in there, or do you think they sit him all year? Do you think they sit him all year?
I think the coach is on too much of a hot seat to play that long game.
True. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because if they have another fourth place finish, he's gone.
Yeah, and if it goes real bad, then I think we definitely see Herbert, and maybe he does it as a job saving move, but maybe they might let him go, before the season's out.
I think he's going to have the most growing pains as a rookie quarterback.
Oh yeah, but that I guess it really just depends on how Tyrod plays, man. If he plays well and the offense does well, and the defense is,
why not keep him in
right? Bosa, Ingram, those guys they'll be there. And then it's sore for a lot of Bucs fans, man. But Derwin James out of Florida State, man crush, man. Like I love that dude.
Yeah.
I love that dude,
Yep.
man. And like he's just been balling. And
Now
so
they got Chris Harris too. He jumps over in the division.
right. So like, and he's been a guy who's been consistent for years. Like, and he's still relatively like. I mean, he's got some juice in him, man. So like,
Oh yeah.
so
And now, I mean, they got that stud linebacker out of Oklahoma, Kenneth Murray, leading the whole charge now.
Yeah, so he's another guy, really solid guy, with some speed to him too, and just like I think like what you want your prototype inside linebacker to be. How quickly does he pick it up? How quickly can he translate? You know what I mean? But he is definitely going to be a guy who is there for you, and I think he'll be like consistent for years to come. Like especially if you want to know about this guy, go back and watch his tape. It's there, you will see it. So
yeah, no doubt. So they got some tough challenges right away. You know, we get to see. I wish we get to see Herbert Burrow first game, but I don't think Herbert's going to be playing.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a crapshoot that first game. But then they got the Chiefs, second game out the blocks.
Yeah. So
and then they got Tampa Bay week 4, and then the Saints week 5. Like that hurts.
Yeah,
it
really
young
does.
team trying to get off the blocks. That's going to be tough.
Schedule makers didn't do them any favors, man. They didn't do them any favors. And then after New Orleans, you get New York and Miami. So, I mean, it's like
and Jacksonville.
Is that a makeup call? Is that what that is?
Right. Like we're sorry.
Right. Yeah. And then Jacksonville. So like that's 3 in a row. And like looking at it, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So I don't know why they had to do that massacre to him on Monday Night Football with the Saints. Like that's going to be. It's going to be tough.
And it's in big and bold ESPN too. Like it's there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
so, I mean, if we are looking at their schedule, man, I don't know. I definitely I see another last place finish unless they can catch fire. To be honest with you, so
yeah, I unfortunately think the only way they finish last is if another team just sucks worse than them.
Yeah, or another team that has a marquee injury or something like that. But
right,
I can't see it, especially like now. I don't want to like the coach he's a good coach. Obviously, he's one of the 32 best coaches in the world. But I don't know if he is the right guy for this team. You know what I mean? So
nah, I see him in like the Jets or like somewhere like that.
Yeah, he needs to be like coaching in the NFL. Like clearly, he got a shot for a reason, but just wasn't able to make it work. So we'll see. Gotcha.
So I think we're all in agreement with the AFC West. No real challengers to the Chiefs' throne.
Nah.
I was gonna say I got a little bonus question for you since it's hot and in the news, and we're in the AFC West. Have you been following the Deion Sanders versus Tyreek Hill back and forth?
No, like this is a thing. This is a thing.
So I guess Tyreek Hill said that primetime Deion couldn't hang with him.
I mean, we talking coverage, we talking speed. Like, what are we doing?
I mean, I think we both know he's not going to touch him speed wise, but Deion covered many a guy that was faster than him over the years,
or at least as fast. So, like, I mean, if you're talking coverage, I'm sorry, but like, I gotta go Deion. Like, Tyreek Hill ain't got enough of a track record for me on that. But I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, he's a dynamic player as it comes, but I'm gonna have to go with the Hall of Famer. Like, Tyreek Hill ain't a Hall of Famer yet. You know what I mean?
Right. Like the gold jacket speaks for itself.
And like I mean, if you asking me personally, there still has not been a player with as much swag as that dude had. Like still.
Oh, are you kidding me? I was a huge Braves fan when he was the height of Neon Deion, prime time.
That's right.
He'd wear the gold chains in the dugouts.
That's how much of an athlete you have to be. Like, so that ends the argument right there. If you can't play two sports, Tyreek Hill, then this is.
He played two sports in the same day.
Yeah,
you remember that 30 for 30? He played two sports in the same day.
Baller, like. I have no words. That's the end of discussion for me. Like we can't. It's not a question, man. But this was fun, man. This is.
Yeah, man. I think we should do it again.
Yeah, I mean, I think we should. You know, especially like you said, we should have a lot of stuff coming up here, man. And you know, I'm excited. Thanks so much for like having me on, bro. It's been a pleasure.
Of course, man. Yeah, we're gonna keep breaking down each division between now and the season, and then we got some fun things planned for you during the season. Go check us out on Instagram. We got a new Instagram page, Nickel and Dime Football. It's spaced out, but it's got the underscores underneath it.
Yes.
So check us out on Instagram. We're going to be posting some show clips and fun stuff.
This is how you know you're special, Drew, because I don't even have an Instagram, and I'm getting back on Instagram. For you, sir. For you.
Look at this. The kid Suds. The kid underscore
Coming out of
Suds.
retirement.
Follow him. Welcome him back. Follow me at Laugh with Harrison. Check out all this fun stuff on my YouTube page. Hit up DrewHarrisonComedy.com.
Yes,
we'll
sir.
see you next week.
Yeah.